What's up, guys? Welcome back. And today we're going to be going through some more topics that are covered in The Boy Crisis. This is a book that I got from the library, and today I want to go over a few topics from a chapter that is very important. We're talking about ideas and conversations to help men improve or give out information that could be possible helpful for the youth and maybe just starting discussions really. So I'm not going to go in depth with the video. As you can see, the video is not going to be that long, but I like to start up some conversations to get other people's ideas because I don't have all the ideas. I'm only in my mid 30s, and so I've had quite a few life experiences, and this one is going to be really good. So there's a chapter in here called Rediscovering Dad. And some of the topics that come from this chapter here is when does dad begin to matter? Which is very interesting. When does dad begin to matter? That's the first topic for today's video because I've seen a video one time of a guy on YouTube. He was divorced and he has kids, and he was saying that he was fine with the mother having the kids, his son and his daughter, while they were very young. He believed that, hey, the young kids should be with their mother while they're growing up. And then by the time their son hits like teenage years, that boy needs to come over to live with him. That's when kids are able to make that decision in a lot of situations when they have custody agreements, all that stuff. I think a kid in most states can choose by the time they're a teenager which parent they prefer to live with on their own. And let's just say a boy could do that. Do you think that it is more important for the dad to be in that son's life at the teenage ages versus just being at the younger ages? Is there something more important that you can teach them then when they can fully understand things, or do they need to be more physically capable of doing certain things? Like at that time, maybe you can get them more into weightlifting at a teenage age. You can maybe teach them more things about love, romance, relationships in a way that they can understand, and it's probably maybe more important during that time frame where they're hitting like 13, 14, where they're really going to need their father. And I want to know what do you guys think? Is it more important to get the father earlier in life, middle in the life, or maybe later in life? You just hit the adult years, maybe 20 and 30. Is it really too late? What if someone has a situation where their father comes back into their life when they're in there between their 20s and 30s? Is there any value left to be had there as far as teaching your son how to be a man, or has the son already started to figuring it out? I would say that I think that having a dad in your life is going to be very important, but I'm interested to know what do you guys think? It's about when does the dad begin to matter? And someone could have the argument, hey, they matter from the beginning as a baby. I honestly think maybe they don't really as much right there. I think a few years on the child could be when it becomes important. But then we're going to move on to another topic as well. And before we do, just don't forget to like and subscribe if you like me raising these questions about things that can help boys or talking about men in general. Then definitely make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave your comments below on what you think on that last question. So the other part of this chapter that is really interesting, and I know this can trigger some people because technically I grew up with a stepdad, so I know what it's like living with like a stepdad, and I have experience living with a biological dad. And so this next topic here is called stepdad or biodad. Basically, stepdad or biological dad. Does that make a difference? Whether you're living with a stepfather or your real father, do you really think that makes a difference? And I wonder if there's any data out here. So this is really good if someone comes into some kind of study that can back up their answer on this or their response on this. That's going to be great. But definitely put down in the comments below, what were your experiences? Did you grow up with a stepfather? Did you grow up with just your biological dad? And do you think there are certain differences that can be made? I actually had a little bit of both. And honestly, I did feel the best when I had my biological dad, to be honest. And it's nothing against the stepfather. I just think that in general, most people are probably going to gravitate towards the parent that birthed them. It's just it feels like it's going to probably just be a different relationship more naturally. And I know there's all kinds of things that can go on where some parents can be very abusive and not really great parents at a young age or while that child is growing up. And so you could deal with some traumatic stuff coming from your biological parents, which could change the answer. So I'm curious to get your response on this. For a young man growing up right now, let's say that you're going to have a son. Now think about it that way. We have situations where you having kids out here, people are having kids, and relationships are breaking up. People are splitting up all the time. Marriages are breaking up, and there's children involved. And so it could be you as a biological dad, maybe not leaving your kids behind, but splitting from the mother, and it provides the opportunity for that mother. She could possibly get a stepfather to step in and take your, not really take your place. That's one thing I don't think stepfathers can do, and that's fine. But which one's more important in this case? Is it like if someone splits, should the mother be going out there looking for the stepfather? Because you hear nowadays on a lot of videos, there are tons of men saying, hey, we don't want single mothers. And is there a benefit? Is there a way that step being a stepfather benefits another man? And does it benefit the kids as well? And I think that this is going to be an interesting topic to see what some of you guys put down below in the comments on this one. I think this one can go a whole lot of ways. I think that I think fathers can get offended based on what some people say. I believe that some stepfathers could get offended on what some people say here. I personally know a few people that are stepfathers. I am personally not a stepfather. I am a father, and that is it's a wonderful thing. But like I said, what do you guys think? Is a kid or a son having his father good or bad, or do they need a stepfather to replace them or make up for some of the shortcomings of the relationship when they're splitting? And you could be young, you could be watching this, you could be in this position right now where your parents are possibly going through a divorce right now, and you're trying to figure out how should you feel about a stepfather coming in, and should you still focus on building the best relationship possible with your father? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Let's get a conversation started.